Hi everyone, it's Beth. Today we're going to be making a winter sign. We'll be using this gift bag I got from Hobby Lobby, a little messy bow I made, tumbling blocks from Dollar Tree, as well as an 11 by 14 frameless canvas from Dollar Tree, Mod Podge, acrylic paint in the color wine, and hot glue. The first thing I did was took the frameless canvas, put it over the part of the gift bag I was going to use, and traced it out, and then cut most of the gift bag away and then trimmed up the rest of the bag. Once I had it all cut out, I took the Mod Podge and put a layer of that down on the canvas. And you want to make sure to do a pretty thick layer if the bag is one of the thicker ones. Once I had that layer of Mod Podge on there, I put down the picture and smoothed it out, tried to get off as many of the wrinkles and bubbles as I could. I don't mind a few wrinkles on there, but I tried to smooth off as many as I could. And with this bag, it's a really thick gift bag, so the ends kept popping up on me. So I took more of the Mod Podge and put more down on there, and then had to end up using my heating tool and heat it up to start the drying process so it would stay down there for me. So I just went along all the edges with the heating tool, and once it started drying, it stayed down no problem. Next, I took the tumbling blocks and lined them up to see how many I would need for my frame. And I ended up needing 7.5 for the longest part. And I just cut a tumbling block in half with my miter shears. So I just took the other half and used it for the second set that I'll need. And for the sides, I ended up going with 5 of the tumbling blocks. And then I took them and used my square to glue them together just to try to get as straight a line as possible. So I glued 2 sets of 7.5 and 2 sets of 5. After they were all glued together, I took my acrylic paint and wine and gave them all 2 coats of that. Then while those were drying, I did the outer layer of the Mod Podge on top of the pitcher. And once everything was dry, I took the pitcher and just trimmed off any of the excess bag that was still on there. Once everything was dry, it was time to put the frame on the pitcher. So I just took them and lined them up to see where I'd like them on there and hot glued them all around the border. And so with the 5 tumbling blocks that are on the sides, there was a bit of a gap. It was too small of a gap to use another tumbling block, so I ended up taking 4 wooden buttons that I had and putting those on the gaps to cover those, which it looks really cute. So I just made sure that when I was gluing down the frame, that on either side of the 5 blocks, I left just the tiniest gap to make sure that the buttons would cover both of those. I placed down the buttons on each of those little gaps that I had there just to make sure that they were going to look all right. And I really liked how they looked on there, so I hot glued each of those down onto each of the four corners. And lastly, I added the messy bow right to the corner right there. I just love how this project turned out. I think it's adorable and I can keep it up all season. Thank you guys so much for watching, and please spread it around.